My dear child, I know your heart is heavy. Your steps falter as the weight of life's obstacles surrounds you. There are moments when everything seems to vanish before your eyes and your soul cries out in the midst of a sea of despair. Do you feel like you're sinking with nothing to hold on to? I understand what you're going through, for I've been there before you even called. I know the feeling when life is filled with trials and dreams you once believed in crumble like sand beneath your feet. But remember, even in your darkest moments, I am here, right beside you. Do you recall the times I said, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest"? Matthew, that was not just an empty promise, it was my commitment. When you come to me with a broken heart, when you place your fears and burdens into my hands, I will renew your strength. I will not let you fall. My beloved child, this life is not always easy. Sometimes the road seems too long, the mountains too high, and you wonder if you can continue. But remember, I never promised the journey would be easy, but I did promise that you would never have to walk alone. In every step you take, in every tear that falls, I am silently walking beside you. Perhaps you feel like every door is closed, but trust that when one door shuts, I will open another that you have yet to see. Listen to me. Let your heart find calm amidst the storms and allow me to lead you through the trials of life. Do you recall the story of the woman who had suffered for 12 years? She came to me, and though her faith was small, she reached out and touched the hem of my garment, and instantly she was healed. Even in her despair, she did not give up her hope in me. She didn't need to shout or demand loudly. Just a simple touch of faith was enough. And you, my child, you only need a little faith. Just turn your heart towards me in your moments of despair, and I will do the rest. I see what you cannot see. When you see high walls blocking your way, I see the vast sky beyond them. When you see loss, I see opportunity. When you see death, I see eternal life. Let your eyes be open to my vision. Do not let despair blind you to what I have planned for you. And when you feel too weak to go on, when your legs seem too weary to take another step, remember my words. My power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. What you see as weakness, I see as an opportunity to work through you. My strength is not found in easy victories, but in those moments when you fall and still trust in me to lift you back up. Do not forget that every challenge you face is not meaningless. They are the stones I use to build you up, to make you stronger and more resilient in faith. I will never allow you to go through anything that you cannot bear. Even if you feel like you've hit rock bottom, remember that it is there that I can lift you higher than ever before. Trust and do not be afraid. My dear child, I know the burdens weighing down your heart. Perhaps you're asking yourself, why do these challenges keep following me? Why does no one see my pain? But I see, I understand, and more importantly, I invite you to come to me. I once said, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28-30. This is not just a simple invitation, but a call from the depths of my heart. I know the burdens you are carrying, the ones you think no one can understand, but I understand. I was there when you cried in the dark, when the worries of life weighed heavily on your soul. Do you know that my yoke is easy and my burden is light? This means that when you hand over your burdens to me, when you trust in me, your life will no longer be weighed down by burdens you cannot carry. This doesn't mean you won't face challenges, but I promise to give you the strength to overcome them. The rest I give is not the end of difficulties, but peace in your heart, even in the midst of storms. You will find calm for your soul when you learn to trust in me. Do you remember the story when my disciples were on the boat in the middle of a fierce storm? They were terrified, thinking everything was over. But I walked on the water, and when I stepped into the boat, the storm calmed instantly. Mark 6:45-51. In the same way, during the storms of your life, I am always present. Even though there are times when you cannot see me, cannot feel my presence, I am there, ready to calm every raging wave. Trust and do not be afraid, for I am your source of peace. My dear child, I know there are moments when you feel too weak, when the challenges seem too great, but remember, in your weakness, my power is made perfect. Corinthians. You don't have to be strong all the time, because I will be your strength. Hand over your worries and fears into my hands. I will never abandon you. I will never leave you to fight alone. You may be asking, how can I give all my burdens to the Lord? How can I trust when everything around me seems to be against me? I have taught you, learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart. When you follow the way I live, you will find peace. It begins with humbly accepting that you cannot control everything. Let me be the one who guides you through every trial. Trust that I know you better than anyone else, and I have a good plan for your life. Have you ever stopped to listen to my voice in your heart? In this busy and pressure-filled life, it's easy for you to get swept away by the stream of worries. But take time to be still before me. Let the noise of the world fade away, and listen to my gentle whisper of love. I am always here, waiting for you to come to me, so I can give you the peace that the world cannot offer. My beloved, remember that even a small faith can bring about great miracles, like the mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds, but when planted, it grows into a large tree. Matthew 13:31-32. Your faith, even as small as a mustard seed, is enough. When you place your trust in me, I will take care of the rest. I will transform what you think is impossible into reality. In the moments when you feel stuck in life, remember that this is not the end. The challenges you face might be stepping stones to bring you closer to me. Do not be afraid, for I have overcome the world. I have gone through the pain, the temptations, and all the hardships that you are facing. I have lived through them and conquered them. And I, the one who has overcome, am by your side in every situation. Look at the miracles I performed in the lives of so many. The lame walked, the blind saw, the dead were raised. These miracles did not just happen in the past. I continue to work in your life if you place your faith in me. Do not be afraid, for my power never changes. I will never leave you, my beloved child. In the darkest moments of your life, you may feel like everyone has abandoned you. The weight of loneliness may press down on your soul, and you might think that no one understands your pain. But I am here to tell you, I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. I once said, I will never leave you nor forsake you, Hebrews 13:5, and I meant every word. Even when it feels like the world has turned its back on you, remember that I am closer to you than ever before. I see the tears you shed in secret, the questions that keep you awake at night, and the fears that whisper to your heart. You are not alone, for I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Matthew. There is no situation too difficult, no valley too deep, no darkness too thick that can separate you from my love. I am the light that shines even in the darkest of places. I know there are times when you feel abandoned, like the world is too overwhelming, and you cannot sense my presence. You cry out, but it seems like I am silent, but I am not far from you. In these moments, I am walking right beside you, holding you up when you cannot stand on your own. When you feel most alone, I am carrying you. Remember the story of Job, who lost everything, his family, his wealth, his health. He sat in the ashes of his life, questioning why all of this suffering had come upon him. But even in the midst of his sorrow, I was with him, guiding him, shaping him, and preparing him for restoration. In the end, I blessed Job far more than what he had before. Job 42:12. In the same way, I am with you in your moments of loss and confusion. When the weight of grief or sorrow overwhelms you, remember you are not forgotten. I have not turned away from you. In fact, I am standing at the door of your heart, waiting for you to open it and let me in. I long to comfort you, to hold you in my arms, and to remind you that you are precious to me. I have engraved your name in the palm of my hands, Isaiah 9:16, and I will never forget you. The enemy will try to convince you that I have abandoned you, that you are too far gone, or that I no longer care. But those are lies. I am the good shepherd, and I lay down my life for my sheep. I leave the 99 to seek out the one who is lost, to bring them back to safety. Luke 15:4-7. You are that one. Even if you feel lost right now, I will find you. I will not rest until you are safely in my arms. It is easy to believe in my presence when life is going well, when the sun is shining and the path is clear. But true faith is trusting me when the storm clouds gather and you can't see the way forward. When you feel like everything is falling apart, That's when I am holding you the tightest. I am closer than the air you breathe. I know you are tired, and I know your spirit feels heavy, but this is not the end. I have plans for you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 9:11. Do not let the current struggle blind you to the promise of what is to come. The pain you feel today will not last forever. It will not define you. I will turn your mourning into joy, your sorrow into dancing. Psalm 30:11. Let me take your burdens, for I care for you. Cast all your anxieties on me. 1 Peter 5:7. You are not designed to carry these heavy loads on your own. When you bring your troubles to me, I will replace your weariness with strength. I will exchange your confusion for clarity and your despair for hope. Imagine the moments when you have felt most alone. Perhaps you have lost someone dear to you, or a relationship you trusted in has fallen apart. Perhaps life's pressures have built up to the point where you feel crushed under the weight of it all. In these moments when you turn to me, I will pour my peace into your heart. It's not a peace that the world gives. It's a peace that surpasses all understanding. Philippians 4:7. A peace that steadies your soul even when the storm rages around you. In real life, I've seen many of my beloved children go through seasons of loss and heartbreak. One such person was a mother who had lost her child, and in the emptiness of her grief, she felt abandoned by everyone, including me. But in her prayers, as she cried out to me, I began to soften her heart, and slowly she started to feel my presence. The peace that I gave her didn't remove her pain, but it gave her the strength to endure. I lifted her out of the pit of despair and helped her to find purpose in her suffering. Over time, she discovered that I had been with her all along, guiding her even in the midst of her darkest days. Just as I was with her, I am with you now. I will never turn away from you, even when you struggle to believe in me. I am faithful, even when you are unsure. My love for you is unwavering, and I will never leave your side. So when the world feels cold and distant, remember, I am right here with you. Lean on me when you feel you can't go on. Call out to me, and I will answer. My arms are open, ready to comfort you, ready to lift you out of despair. Trust in my presence, my child, and know that you are never alone. Miracles happen in the darkest moments. My beloved child, there are moments in your life when it feels like you have exhausted every option, tried every solution, and yet nothing seems to change. Despair starts to sink in, whispering that you are out of hope, that your situation is beyond repair. But do not let despair overtake you, for I want to remind you of this truth. It is in your darkest moments that my miracles can shine the brightest. Let me tell you about a woman who suffered for 12 long years. She had a disease that drained her physically, emotionally, and financially. She went to every doctor, tried every remedy, and yet nothing helped her. In fact, her condition only grew worse. Mark 5:25-26. She felt hopeless, as if she had reached the end of her strength. But deep within her heart, she held on to a spark of faith, a faith that led her to me. She had heard about the miracles I performed, how I healed the sick, gave sight to the blind, and made the lame walk again. So one day when she saw me walking through a crowd, she thought to herself, if I can just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Mark 5:28. With that small spark of faith, she pushed through the crowd, reaching out in desperation and hope. When her fingers touched the edge of my robe, power flowed out from me and into her. Immediately she felt it, the bleeding stopped, the pain faded, and her body was healed. I knew what had happened. I stopped and turned to the crowd asking, "Who touched my clothes?" Mark 5:30. My disciples were confused. With so many people pressing in on me, how could I know who had touched me? But this was no ordinary touch. This was the touch of faith. The woman, trembling with fear, came forward and fell at my feet, confessing everything. And I looked at her with love, saying, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." Mark 5:34. What you need to understand, my child, is that it wasn't just my power that healed her, it was her faith. In her moment of greatest desperation, when every other option had failed, she chose to believe that I could do what no one else could. She chose to trust in me, and because of her faith, a miracle happened. This story is for you too. I know there are times in your life when you feel like you've tried everything, and yet the situation only seems to get worse. You may feel like you are at the end of your strength, but it is in these moments that I ask you to reach out to me in faith. Even if your faith feels small, even if it is just the size of a mustard seed, it is enough. Matthew. You see, faith isn't about having all the answers or knowing exactly how things will turn out. Faith is trusting me even when you can't see the outcome. It's believing that I am working behind the scenes, even when you can't yet see the evidence of it. Just as the woman believed that one touch from me could change everything, I ask you to believe that I can turn your situation around. Your pain, your struggles, your unanswered prayers, none of them are beyond my reach. When you place your trust in me, you open the door for me to work miracles in your life. It might not always happen the way you expect. The miracle might not come in the exact form you are looking for. But know this, I am always at work, bringing light into your darkest moments. What seems impossible to you is never impossible for me. Luke 18:27. Throughout the ages, I have seen countless people come to me in their moments of deepest despair. Some have lost everything, their loved ones, their health, their livelihood, and yet, in their desperation, they turned to me in faith, and I brought them through the storm. There was a man who had lost his job and was facing the reality of not being able to provide for his family. Every door seemed to close in his face, and he began to feel like he was a failure. He knelt before me, pouring out his heart, telling me how lost and broken he felt. But instead of letting despair consume him, he chose to trust in me, to believe that I had a plan for his life, even when he couldn't see it. In the days that followed, I guided him to an unexpected opportunity, one he had never considered before. What he thought was a setback turned out to be the beginning of a new direction for his life, one that not only provided for his family, but also filled his heart with purpose and joy. Through his faith, a miracle was born out of what seemed like a hopeless situation. There was another woman who faced a devastating illness. She prayed for healing, but her condition seemed to worsen and she started to lose hope. But instead of giving in to fear, she clung to me in faith, trusting that even if healing didn't come in the way she expected, I would be with her through the journey. As time went on, she experienced moments of grace and peace that carried her through the darkest days. Her faith didn't just change her body, it transformed her spirit, giving her strength to endure and a deeper understanding of my presence in her life. These stories are not unique. Over and over again, my children have faced moments where all seemed lost. Yet in those moments, when they turned to me in faith, I brought forth miracles, some in the form of physical healing, others in the form of new opportunities, or a renewed sense of peace. What I want you to know, my child, is that your situation is not too difficult for me. I see the challenges you face, and I understand the weight you carry. But I am asking you to trust in me. Even when everything seems to be falling apart, even when you don't see a way forward, I am already preparing the miracle that will carry you through. The key is to reach out in faith, just as the woman did when she touched my robe. So when you feel like you are at the end of your rope, do not give up. Do not let despair have the final word. Instead, let your faith rise up and watch as I do what only I can do. Remember, my child, miracles happen in the darkest moments. Trust in me, and you will see my hand at work in ways you never imagined. Challenges are opportunities to grow in faith. My beloved child, life is filled with challenges and trials. You may find yourself in moments of uncertainty, facing hardships that seem insurmountable. In these times, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, to question your faith, and to wonder why these challenges have come your way. But I want to remind you of a profound truth. Every challenge you face is not a setback, but an opportunity for growth. In John 16:33, I spoke to my disciples, saying, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." This statement is not just a comforting reminder, it is a call to courage. Yes, you will face difficulties, it is part of the human experience. But I have already conquered the very forces that seek to bring you down. This means that even in your struggles, there is a path to victory. Think of the many trials I faced during my ministry. I encountered rejection, betrayal, and suffering. Yet through each trial, I remained steadfast, knowing that each moment was a stepping stone toward a greater purpose. I did not shy away from challenges, rather, I embraced them. I want you to do the same. When you encounter obstacles, remember that they are not merely burdens to bear. They are lessons in disguise, designed to strengthen your faith and build your character. It is through trials that you learn patience, perseverance, and the depth of my love for you. Each difficulty is a reminder that you are not alone. I walk with you every step of the way. Consider the story of a young man named David. He was a shepherd boy, often underestimated by those around him. But when he faced the giant Goliath, he did not see an insurmountable challenge. He saw an opportunity to trust in me fully. With nothing but a sling and a stone, he faced the giant with unwavering faith. I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, he declared, 1 Samuel 17:45. Through this challenge, David grew not only in courage but also in faith, ultimately becoming a king. His victory was not just in defeating Goliath, it was in the growth of his trust in me. This principle applies to your life as well. When faced with trials, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of allowing fear or doubt to take root, lean into the experience. Each challenge is an invitation to deepen your relationship with me, to rely on my strength, and to witness the miracles that can arise from perseverance. Take heart, my child, for every hardship you encounter is shaping you into the person I have created you to be. It is through the fire of adversity that you are refined, just as gold is purified. You may not see the results immediately, but trust that I am at work in you, molding your heart and mind, preparing you for the plans I have for your life. Let me share with you the story of a woman who faced immense trials throughout her life. She encountered financial struggles, relationship breakdowns, and health issues that seemed relentless. There were moments when she felt like giving up, overwhelmed by the weight of her circumstances. But instead of succumbing to despair, she began to seek me in prayer, asking for strength and guidance. Through her prayers, she started to see each challenge not as an obstacle, but as a lesson. She learned to trust in my provision during her financial struggles. She discovered the value of forgiveness and grace during her relationship trials. And through her health issues, she learned to appreciate the gift of life and the importance of caring for her body and spirit. Every challenge she faced became a stepping stone towards spiritual growth. As she persevered, she found herself becoming more resilient, more compassionate, and more attuned to my voice in her life. What once felt like a series of unfortunate events transformed into a powerful testimony of faith and perseverance. This transformation did not happen overnight. It took time, prayer, and a willingness to embrace the lessons hidden within each trial. But through her journey, she discovered that I was there all along, guiding her, loving her, and teaching her to trust me more deeply. I want you to know, my child, that you too have the capacity to turn your challenges into opportunities for growth. When you encounter trials, remember that I am with you, helping you navigate through them. Lean into your faith, knowing that every hardship has the potential to draw you closer to me and to reveal the strength that lies within you. You may not always understand the why behind your struggles, but trust that there is purpose in every season of your life. I am using your experiences to prepare you for the next chapter, to equip you for the plans I have for you. Remember, I have already overcome the world, and in me you have the victory over your challenges as well. So take heart, my beloved child. Embrace the challenges that come your way, for they are opportunities to grow in faith, strength, and character. Trust in me, and you will see how I can transform your trials into triumphs, leading you to a deeper understanding of my love and grace. Hope in the resurrection. My beloved child, in moments of despair, it can feel as though you are standing at the edge of a dark abyss where hope seems distant and the path ahead is shrouded in shadows. But I want you to lift your eyes and look toward the light of the resurrection, a light that pierces through the darkness and illuminates the truth of my love and power. When I walked among you, I experienced the depths of human suffering and loss. I knew what it was like to face betrayal, loneliness, and the pain of separation. And yet, through my own death and resurrection, I demonstrated the ultimate triumph of life over death. My resurrection is not just an event of history, it is a profound promise that echoes through time and space, offering hope to all who believe. In John 11:25-26, I declared to Martha, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die, and whoever lives by believing in me will never die. This promise speaks directly to your heart today. No matter the depths of your despair, no matter how insurmountable your challenges may seem, the truth of my resurrection is a beacon of hope that can dispel the darkness. Even in the moments when you feel completely lost, remember that I am with you, and I am the source of your hope. The resurrection demonstrates that death is not the end. Rather, it is a gateway to new beginnings. Just as I emerge from the tomb victorious and alive, so too can you rise from your struggles, transformed and renewed. You may face trials that feel like death to your dreams, but I assure you that through faith, there is always the possibility of resurrection. Consider the story of Lazarus, whom I raised from the dead. When I arrived at his tomb, Mary and Martha were grieving deeply. They believed it was too late, that all hope was lost. But I told them, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" John 11:40. With those words, I commanded Lazarus to come forth, and he emerged alive, demonstrating that even in the darkest hour, my power can bring forth life. This miraculous event reminds you that what seems hopeless can be transformed. Just as I breathe life back into Lazarus, I can breathe new life into your circumstances. Your challenges may feel overwhelming, but I am capable of turning your mourning into joy, your despair into hope. Remember, my child, that with me, nothing is impossible. I am the God who can resurrect dreams, relationships, and aspirations that have been buried beneath the weight of sorrow. So in your moments of despair, turn your gaze to the resurrection. Meditate on the truth that I have conquered death, and through me, you have access to the same power that raised the dead. When you feel trapped in hopelessness, remember the promise of new beginnings and the assurance that your story is not finished yet. Your struggles are not a sign of abandonment, they are part of the journey toward resurrection. Each challenge is an opportunity for me to work in your life, to shape your heart, and to prepare you for the blessings I have in store. Just as I was raised from the dead, I will raise you up from your difficulties, revealing a future filled with hope and purpose. As you walk through this life, carry with you the assurance that every setback is a setup for a comeback. Trust in my resurrection power and let it fill you with hope. Know that I am always present, ready to transform your trials into triumphs and your despair into joy. Let me share with you the story of a young woman who faced a devastating loss when she lost her job. Her health began to decline, and her relationships suffered. It felt as though everything she held dear was slipping away, and in those moments, she battled deep despair. Yet in her darkest hours, she turned to me, seeking comfort and guidance. As she prayed, she felt an overwhelming sense of my presence wrapping around her like a warm embrace. It was in these moments of vulnerability that she began to understand the power of resurrection in her life. She started to view her loss not as an end, but as an opportunity for new beginnings. This perspective shift enabled her to explore new passions and skills she had long neglected. Through faith and perseverance, she eventually discovered a new career path that not only provided for her needs, but also ignited a passion she never knew she had. What once felt like a dead end transformed into a vibrant new chapter, filled with hope and purpose. She realized that her struggles had equipped her with resilience and wisdom, preparing her for the blessings to come. This story echoes the message of my resurrection, that no matter how dark your circumstances may seem, there is always the promise of renewal. Your challenges are not the end of your story. They are the beginnings of something beautiful that I am crafting within you. Remember that hope is alive, and I am always with you, guiding you through the darkness into the light of my love. So, my beloved child, as you face your own challenges, remember the power of my resurrection. Embrace hope, trust in my plan, and allow my love to transform your despair into a testimony of triumph. I am the resurrection and the life, and in me, you will find the strength to rise again. My beloved child, in the tapestry of life, there are threads of joy interwoven with strands of sorrow. In moments when despair feels all-consuming and hope seems like a distant star, remember this truth. I am the anchor that holds you steady in the storms of life. Even when the path ahead appears shrouded in darkness, I invite you to trust in my unchanging love. Just as the dawn breaks after the longest night, so too can hope rise from the ashes of your struggles. You are never alone in your battles. I am with you, ready to carry your burdens and light the way before you. As you navigate the valleys of uncertainty, allow my presence to fill your heart with peace. Reflect on the stories of those who have walked this path before you, who found solace and strength in their faith during their darkest hours. Their lives are testimonies of how my love transforms despair to hope and trials into triumphs. In every challenge you face, there lies an opportunity for growth. Embrace your struggles as a means to draw closer to me, to deepen your faith, and to cultivate resilience. Just as a seed must break open to give rise to new life, so too must you allow your heart to be shaped and refined through adversity. Each hardship you endure is a stepping stone toward a brighter tomorrow. When you feel overwhelmed, remember that you can always come to me. I am your refuge and strength, a very present help in times of trouble. Place your trust in me, and I will show you that every ending is merely a new beginning in disguise. Allow my love to wash over you, renewing your spirit and igniting the flame of hope within you. As you step forward into the unknown, carry this promise in your heart: I will never leave you nor forsake you. You are precious to me, and I see the beauty within your struggle. With every prayer whispered in the depths of your soul, you invite the miraculous into your life. Hope is alive, let it rise like the sun, illuminating your path and filling your heart with joy. So, my dear child, as you continue on your journey, hold fast to this truth. I am always here, waiting to guide you through every trial. Embrace the hope that I offer, and let it transform your heart. For in me you will find peace, strength, and the assurance that no matter how dark the night may be, the dawn is always just ahead. Amen.